Good morning, 4amers. If you haven't heard it today, let me be the first to say that you are awesome. So this whole week for the 4am Daily Wake Up podcast, we've been talking about how the book If You Will Lead by Doug Moran has impacted my life and the attributes of a leader. Leadership is something that I personally need to get better at in my job, for my side hustles. Yes, that's more than one of which is an MLM. My leadership needs to improve, and Doug, in his book, has focused on 16 attributes. Now, I've shared the first 8 in the first couple days of the week. Character, authenticity, integrity, self-efficacy. Yesterday's was ambition, vision, boldness, and resilience. And today, for the next 4 attributes that I want to share about is inspiration, courage, selflessness, and stamina. We'll talk about that in a minute. Inspiration. I call myself an inspirational leader as opposed to a motivational leader. And one thing Doug points out in his book that really spoke to me was great leaders rarely try to inspire us. You see, it happens naturally. And in your leadership role, do you find others inspired naturally, or it's organic? You see, inspiring leaders give us hope. Hope that we, regardless of our circumstances, can do it. And inspire. The word inspire is derived from the Latin word that means to breathe in. So as a leader, you're breathing in life to those that are following you. We talked about boldness yesterday. So how is courage different from boldness? I'm so glad you asked. Boldness comes from your head, Doug writes. Courage comes from your heart. You cannot have courage without being afraid. Well, I'm not afraid of anything. Well, then you're not displaying courage to your followers. Courage definition is the ability to do something that frightens one. If you aren't afraid in an action you're involved in, you aren't being courageous. Sorry to burst your bubble. You aren't being courageous. Sometimes our followers need to see that we're scared and that we've overcome that fear by being courageous. The next attribute that Doug talks about is selflessness. Concerned more with the needs and wishes of others than with one's own. To be unselfish. Selfless leaders ignore their personal feelings. They ignore their personal needs, and they ignore their ego for the greater good. As a leader, there is ego. You have a little diva in you. And ignoring that for the greater good will show others that you are unselfish. This requires us as leaders to have a strong understanding of knowing who we are, our boundaries, and especially our priorities. And that's why I think we start with who and not start with why. Who are you? What boundaries have you set? And how are your priorities? The last attribute of a leader in this group that I'll talk about today is stamina. Now, if you see on my whiteboard back there, it's misspelled. I have dyslexia. I deal with this every single day. So as I wrote it, and I'm checking over my notes, and I have my paper here, checking over my notes. I'm like, well, that's not spelling. And I went to erase, and I thought, you know what? No, I deal with this every single day. Every single day, it's such a blessing. I say deal with it. Here's the thing. In what I do, in engaging an audience, my dyslexia is a gift. It is a blessing. I meet some folks, they'll say, oh, I can fix you with that with natural medicine, or I can fix that from you. I don't want you to fix that. It's who I am. I deal with this every single day. So I kept it misspelled. So you can see what I deal with, because I know that you deal with things every single day. Stamina is the ability to sustain prolonged physical or mental effort. And having a sense of community, Doug writes, in your leadership style creates a foundation for emotional and spiritual stamina. That word's hard for me to say. as I said before, I'm giving you insight into the book, If You Will Lead. You need to purchase this book on your own or go to the local library and check it out. Inspiration, courage, selflessness, stamina. You got it. Now go get it, because I expect it.